Good evening, my name is Roy Clements, and for the research assignment, I will be discussing political propaganda with you all today. Now, propaganda is what politicians use to convince us that something is right and or something is wrong. It's what makes us agree on certain policies or topics that are happening in the United States. But, to be more specifically, for this assignment, I will be discussing domestic political propaganda. That is political propaganda that is specifically focused on us, the citizens of the United States. Now, to explain the difference between political propaganda and domestic political propaganda, is that political propaganda in general can be more applied to, say, elements that are aimed outside of the United States. Have you ever seen pieces that, say, portray foreigners as terrorists, or other such topic matters would be considered the more standard political propaganda? Domestic propaganda is aimed, as I previously mentioned, towards us. It is revolving around topics within the United States. Now, to be more specific, one side that I want to focus on in this discussion regarding political propaganda is a side that has been using political propaganda very often when their advertisements in the recent years. That being the Republican Party. Now, the Republican Party has always had kind of a hand in propaganda. They've used emotional appeals in many of their advertisements. Old school Republican Party has often used a more positive emotional appeal for their supporters. Going back to Ronald Reagan and other more old school Democrats, not Democrats, Republicans, who focused on building this image of America, the city on the hill, make America great, which was the original version. It relies on this place of pride and patriotism. However, shifting now to more modern takes, there is more of a focus on fear appeal when it comes to domestic political propaganda being put out by Republicans. It's being more aimed at making their supporters afraid. How often have you seen political propaganda that portrays Mexicans as stealing your job, issues regarding, say, transgender individuals going into bathrooms, and other topics such as that? There is a more fear-based political propaganda happening. One could argue that this extreme shift happened during the Donald Trump administration, which saw him using political propaganda very successfully, targeting both his political Republican opponents along with Democratic politicians, all using the same kind of political propaganda tactics that you see in today. I hope you enjoyed this discussion, and I hope you all have a good time. Thank you. Goodbye.